What's up, you guys? Johneri'O here, and I'm at the Culture Myxr. You guys, listen, when I say there is nothing but black excellence in here, tonight they will be bringing together the community of young professionals and game makers, money makers, change makers in the city of Atlanta to go ahead and network and do it for the culture when it comes to empowering and inspiring each and every one of us, y'all. So what is your inspiration? You are a blogger, a social media manager, strategist, influencer, entrepreneur. Like, what is your influence?
Well, what keeps me inspired every day is really just going after something new. Like, I'm a person that, with my audience, I call myself a student of the universe, and I really just love to learn and develop new skills, make money from them, and teach somebody what I've learned, and then move on to the next thing.
Speaking about teaching other people what you learned, what did you wish you knew when you got started?
I wish I knew how to not take things personal. And I'm still working on that. But yeah, I think that would be the biggest thing. Learning how to develop my business acumen, but mastering your emotions is a really big part of that. Because it just, when people say it's just business, that's really what it is. You want to get ahead just as much as the next person. And what are you willing to set boundaries? Are you willing to say no? Are you willing to, do certain things to make sure you get ahead? At the end of the day, as barbaric as that sounds, you have to put yourself first. And that's another thing that I had to really learn.
So now that you're in the game 2-3+ years, what are you looking forward to in 2023 when it comes to continuing to building your empire?
Well, actually, it'll be 8 years next month that I've been doing the whole blogger thing. Some people know I started off at the Shade Room, and then I left and created my own companies, and I'm just wanting to continue building those. I actually want to delve more into the tech industry, so I'm trying to figure out some things on how I can do that. Mm-hmm.
And what do you have going on next?
So, what I have going on next, what month is it? It's January.
She's so busy, y'all. She don't even know. She's so busy.
I don't. I do have a couple more speaking engagements coming up. I'm low-key trying to do another TED Talk this year. So that's on my radar to do. And then just building my companies. That's really it. I'm really, I have tunnel vision on that right now.
And let everyone know how they can continue to follow you.
Yeah, so you guys can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at The Closet Ratchet, or on Twitter at Tallyo. That's TALLYOHHH.
Listen, thank you so much for stopping by. So Archie, you are a CEO of an amazing company. I mean, the style, the chicness, you keep up with the culture. So what does the culture mean to you?
I think the culture is all about inspiration. You know what I'm saying? I think it's been inspired about all the things that everyone's doing. I think for us, it's we created something special, but it's seeing people thrive off of the inspiration that they've gotten for us, right? So for me, it's that's the culture, right? It's really inspiring the culture and taking energy from the culture from a design standpoint and creative standpoint to really elevate the culture to the next level.
So doing what you do and just being in the brand for so long, what do you wish you knew when you first got started?
Ooh. I think for me, man, I think it's all about infrastructure, right? We don't think about infrastructure, and I think a lot of times we're not taught how to build infrastructure, right? And I think sometimes that puts us in a pickle as we grow and as we try to scale, and not really understanding funding, understanding how to build relationships, understanding how to scale. And because at the end of the day, I think we're taught, I come from a family where my grandfather had, my stepdad said they had a barbecue spot. But a lot of times, we have these mom and pops businesses where we're trying to make it every single day, right? But I think it's time to really change the narrative. How do we become multimillionaires, right? How do we build infrastructure to really create those systems, right? And a lot of times when it comes to our counterparts, Caucasians, that they have the systems in play from their families, right? So when they're building companies, they're scaling. And I think a lot of times is that even from a fashion standpoint, we got to start thinking about fashion from a tech standpoint, right? We're not going into fashion of course we want to look cool and look dope, but we want to make money, right? And then the goal is shit, Do you want to exit? Do you want to sell the company in the future? Or you want to be exit ready? You know what I mean? So for me, I think those are things I wish I would have known in the beginning. But I think that comes about the process. So now I'm able to explain the trials and tribulations when it comes to actually building a company.
Would you say that's how you stay relevant?
I think it's a part of how you stay relevant. I think that you can have infrastructure, but you got to also have influence, especially within the fashion industry, right? People can have infrastructure all day, but once you kind of turn the corner and turn your head, then you might not have the same support from your consumers and your customers that you think you might have, right? So I think it all plays a major role. Influence, culture, community, it's all one.
I mean, I saw a couple of months that you were doing, making some changes, not bad changes, but some good changes to Wearbrim. What can we expect from Wearbrim 2023?
So I think for Wearbrim 2023, man, it's all about quality, right? It's all about quality. It's all about being consistent and curating a community that aligns about fashion, right? So for us, being a luxury brand, but also being accessible, right? We want people to feel cool, right? We want people to feel good, but not just on the outside, on the inside as well, right? So like how I feel and how I interact and how I am, not everybody has that energy, but you can, right? So for us at Wear Brims, we want to foster that energy towards our consumers and our customers and our community. We want to let you know, like, you can have that energy. You know what I'm saying? It just takes time and awareness, right? So for us, it's really tapping into that, give you the best quality, taking it up to another level, and just having fun.
Have fun. How can everybody stay tuned and connect with you?
Of course, you can follow Wear Brims, WEARBRIMS, on all social media platforms. You can follow me at Archie Clay III. You can shop with us. You're gonna shop with us, you know what I'm saying? You gotta get your graduation cap. We at Nordstrom's, we at Neiman Markets. We'll be in Saks this year, so we got a lot of shit going on for us, you know what I'm saying?
Support black business, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. When you say serial entrepreneur, what does that look like for you?
For me, that means finance is kind of the basis of a lot of things I do. So that runs from me being a CFO of a technology company, doing real estate development, flips, Airbnbs. I have a car rental fleet, international nonprofit, and a couple things along those lines. Yeah,
he is a serial entrepreneur. Yeah, most def. So when I've been asking everybody, when you first began, whether it's your first business, your second business, what do you wish that you knew before you even got started?
Woo! What do I wish I knew before I got started? One of the things that I was really lucky to be told by someone when I first got started in business, they were like, people are going to think you're crazy and people are going to tell you shouldn't do it. And if it wasn't for that advice, honestly, I think I might not have made it. Because when I was ready to get started in entrepreneurship, I was maybe like 20, 21. I didn't have kids, bills, expenses, whatever. I was making like $25 an hour and I had a flexible schedule. So I had money to like play around and do stuff with. But when I was ready to quit, even like, family friends, they're like, why would you like give up making good, consistent money? You don't have kids, you don't have other stuff to worry about, to go into something where it's like it's variable and you don't know what's going to happen. And so if it wasn't for that advice, like, I may not have done it. I think one thing that I would have structured differently is like, understand 9-to-5s actually are not a bad thing. I think it gets a lot of bad rap. When I learned the key is really just doing what you enjoy. That's the key to like whatever it is you want to do. I met a couple people that had, $20, $50 million and then talking to them about life, business, etc. And it's like, why are you still going to work? Like you make enough money residually where it's like, you don't have to do anything. And they were like, no, it's not even about that. Because they're like, one, if you have a real business, you're not working in your business. So it's operating itself. So you have time. They're like, I got a wife, I got kids. They go to work, they go to school. I go and do the job that I love. And I get to come home and spend time with them and the money's still making money. So I think the thing I learned was really it's about doing what you enjoy and figuring out how to phase yourself out of businesses as soon as possible. Because really, a lot of people are just self-employed. So it's not necessarily like you have it's a business and it's growing, but it's not really a real business until you can walk away from it or you can hire enough people and create money for other people. So
right. And today and age, everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Everyone. So what advice would you give a new entrepreneur or someone that's ready to take that jump and embark into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I think it's all about proximity. So you want to figure out how you can get into the room with the right people and understand perceived value. So I think in a lot of cases, you're either going to pay with time, money, or both, right? So if that means I got to pay to get in the room to sit in front of the right person, that's exactly what I should do. If I need to figure out how do I exchange time, because a lot of people be like, I bet I want to get together, I want to buy someone lunch and get them. But it's like, do you think the people that you're trying to learn from can't afford to buy lunch for themselves? That's not what will attract them to come and sit down with you. They get food all the time, right? But if you reach out to someone, you're like, hey, look, like, I've looked at this, and I think I can help you out with this. Or really just asking the simple question, how can I help? And then be like, hey, I'd love to figure out how I can give you my time, figure out how you can build another vertical or do something different. You start freeing up people's time, oh man, they'll give you the world, because time is the most invaluable asset that we can't get back. And it doesn't make sense until like your time is worth quote unquote more. And as much as everyone's like, don't waste my time, I look at it like this. You can either spend time or you can invest time. And so you got to decide who you want to invest time with, or once you've spent time in relationships, what time is being spent and you're not getting a return on it towards what you actually need out of life. And that doesn't always mean financially, even emotionally, like spiritually. Like, do you have a support group to go through the different things you have going on? Because it gets hard. You have really crappy moments. You have moments where stuff is really great and moments when stuff is bad. But it's like you got to be able to weather the storm and survive. So yeah.
Yo, listen. It's over. Listen, so also I wanted to touch on investing. You said investing time, but also with what you do, serial entrepreneurship. I know that's a lot of investing. So when would you say is a good time to invest when you're trying to capitalize on more than one brand, more than one business?
I say the first thing you always want to invest is in yourself. If you don't know where to place your money, the first place you need to invest is within yourself. If you don't know where to place your money, that means you need to invest in yourself to understand what I should do or who I need to be able to get in front of the person that's willing to teach me what to do. Because it's one thing if someone's like, all right, bet, like say they have a multi-million-dollar business and they're like, all right, look, I can show you how to do everything, but can you apply on it? Can you act on it? It's different when someone's like, hey, look, I got a real estate deal. Bring me $50K. I'm going to put that in the deal, and then I'm going to show you how to do it front to bottom. And that's how my first deal actually went out. So, yeah.
Yo, if you're not hooked up with Philip, you better get hooked up with him now. Philip, how can everyone stay tuned and connect with all that you have going on?
Definitely. You can find me on IG at Finance with Phil, or at my personal name, which is PHILLIP.KARAYA.
Man, yo, you just fed my soul. Listen, I think I could go out and be an entrepreneur now, a serial entrepreneur.